handsome, dreadlocks rolling all down his, ooh, and David loved Absalom more than any of his sons. Absalom could lie and cheat, and David never corrected him. Absalom could have any woman he wanted, or concubine, any of his wives. David would not lift his hand. David had gone nuts and let them have their way. Absalom finds out about his brother Amnon raping his sister. The scriptures tells me in the same text that Absalom doesn't do anything, but he stopped talking with his brother Amnon. Now, you know what set in? Hate. Devilish hate. Absalom was saying, if it's the last thing that I do in this world, I'm going to kill my brother. What? From David's loins comes all of this? Lust, rape, incest, and now murder? Then what does Absalom do? It's in the text. He calls his father. And he says, Father, I'd like to throw a feast for all of your sons and their servants in my house. And I want you to invite all of your sons, and so that they can feast. Now this is after 2 years, and he hasn't, 2 years this mess brewed. Parents, 2 years that one son never talked with that other boy. 2 years David looked the other way. 2 years David refused to address the situation. 2 years, and now Absalom has turned into a madman full of murder, and he's giving a party, and he says, Father, I want you to come. David says, oh son, I can't come. It's impractical for you to invite all of us. We're living all over. It's impractical. And then you can read it in the text. Absalom says, well, Father, if you can come, can Amnon come? Now, what's beautiful now? What's beautiful now is you need to ask yourself, what was David's attitude? Well, you got to go to verse 21 of chapter 13 of 2 Samuel. After the rape of his daughter, the scripture says, now when King David heard all of these matters, there's only one thing that he did. He was very angry. Robert, he didn't do nothing. He was angry. He said, boy, why did you do that to your sister? Boy, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Stop that. He was very angry. That's all David was. He wasn't indignant. He didn't take off his garment and weep in sackcloth and ashes. He didn't make Amnon a public display for anybody, as the law says in Leviticus. In Leviticus it says that if a man lies with his sister, that is abomination. David didn't quote the law. You know what his problem was? He was trying to be too good to everybody. Well, I'm a father, and I'm going to be good to my children. I'm not going to make them get up and have a bad day. I'm going to tell them that everything is all right, that God is just pleased. David was destroying his children. Now, let's come back to this beautiful scenario of lust, trickery, rape, and incest, and now murder. For we look at the defect as going unchecked. All David was angry. But that hate in Absalom began to grow and unchecked because of David's lack of action. His lack of action, verse 22 says, but Absalom did not speak to Amnon either good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had violated his sister Tamar. A father is invited to be a part of that treacherous act. You read that in verse 24. And then we see the parent trap in verse 25 and 26a. The parent trap. Whenever your children talk to you and make a statement and it doesn't sound right to you, you parents are not supposed to say yes or no quick. The first thing you're supposed to say is, why are they asking me that? What's going on here? Let's take a look at this parent trap here. Verse 25. And the king said to Absalom, "No, my son, we should not all go lest we become burdensome to you." Although he urged him, he would not go, and he blessed him. And Absalom said, "If not, please let my brother Amnon go with us." Look at what David says in verse 26. And the king said to him, "Why should he go with you?" Look at verse 27. And when Absalom urged him, he let Amnon and all the king's sons go. He refused to act. He asked the important question, "Why do you want Amnon to go?" And then what Absalom did, because David, get this, parents, David loved Absalom more than any of them. Absalom could wrap his daddy around his finger. The boy was handsome, fine, strong, masculine, articulate, and he could control his fire. If you love anybody more than loving God, I don't care how handsome they are, how articulate they are, how good they make you feel, ask them, "Why are you asking me these questions?" You're falling into what I call the parent trap. Oh, I love my daughters. I think that they two are the finest young ladies in the world. I love all these little kids coming up here, and these teenage young men, fine, handsome specimens of black men and black women. But you know what? I will ask, why are you asking me that? David did not ask the right kinds of questions. Parents, listen to Pastor John. Our families are devastated because you are not asking the right kind of question. "Mama, I want to go to that party." Why do you want to go to that party? "I'm bored at home." Why are you bored at home? "My friends are going." They don't put food on your plate. What is it? "I'll tell you what it is, Mama. I don't feel good about myself." Well, I know it can make you feel real good about yourself. And then put them to work. Put them to work. Give them something to take the boredom off. "Mama, why can't we go and have some fun?" You haven't worked hard enough. "But Mama, all my friends are doing that." Yeah, their domino's about to fall. "Oh, but Mama, see, this church stuff is working on my case now." You're a hard case mom. Right, you should have had them here yesterday and let Sister Frost read something to them from the LA Times, from Ann Landers, about a 14-year-old that ran away from home, sleeping under the Hollywood freeway bridges, eating garbage out of restaurant trash cans, getting pregnant, 6-7 months pregnant. Her and the baby got AIDS. Hey, listen, you know what? The domino effect. Let's get back into the dialogue. Why did David give in so quick to his son Absalom? Well, I'm going to share this with you. In 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25, it says, "Now in all Israel was none one as handsome as Absalom, so highly praised from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. There was no defect in him." You look at Absalom and you just go, "Oh, geez, John." Absalom would walk in the palace laying the maid, and all the guards would say, "God, look at this." Absalom would walk in, no hair out of place, some dreadlocks hanging, muscles everywhere, articulation, his daddy's boy. He'd come in and stand next to King David. King David would just start shaking. "Ooh, look at him, sperm of my sperm." That's the way life is. Some of you parents, you're raising these children and you love them too much. Because if you had a snake in you, they got a little viper growing in them. And you better realize that if that viper took you out, it will take them out. Now, there's a reason why David felt the way he did. Now, if any of you in this room feel that way, but hey, I don't care about what you say, Pastor John. I'm going to love mine. I'm going to give them everything. I'm going to let them do anything they want to do. I'm going to justify you. You have fun. And your entire immediate family is going to be a disaster. And you're going to bring them to church and God's going to say, "I can't touch that." You've already refused to believe.